Hi everyone, this is Winged and I am sharing with you my experience from the beginning. When I first met Eagle and everyone here, and how my life changed in one moment. Well, I was 16 years old when my mother passed away from cancer. Her name was Honey. And it was myself, my younger brother, and my younger sister that was left alone with my father. His name is Philip. So this happened in October of 2001. In February the next year, 2002, Philip came to me while I was on a camping trip. He came to pick me up, and he said to me he had met a new woman. Now this was about 3 months after my mother had passed away. And in that moment it was quite an extensive shock because my mother, her name was Honey, was dead for like 3 months, and here he says to me he's going out with a new woman. So I said, he asked me, how do I feel about the situation? Of course I was extensively upset, but I just hid it all, and I said, it's fine, if you're happy, I'm happy. Big lie. Huge. And that same year of 2002, they got married. In June 2002, July, they got married. This was about 8 months after Honey had passed, and so it was a big change. And in the beginning it was quite fun, because she was new, she was vibrant, she was young, she was always busy in sports, and she kind of brought a new life essence into the whole family, especially into Philip. For the first time in a long time, he smiled and he was happy and he wasn't so depressed and everything. So, I was okay with everything. Then in 2003, that was my grade 12 year, and last year of school, was quite a extensive year because her name was Erica, was a woman my father married or remarried, my stepmother. The relationship started becoming quite conflicting between us because she was one of those women who was always neat. Everything had to be perfect. The placement of the house, nothing could be out of place. Everything had to be specific and perfect. If it was not, there was trouble. And I found it very difficult to live with that because she basically changed our entire house. She sold everything of our house and put all her stuff into this house. So, it kind of became, instead of her moving in with us, we started moving in with her. And everything went upside down, and nothing of what I knew was there anymore. It was all a mess. And to a certain extent, I couldn't find myself, if you want to call it that. And so, what happened? After my matric year, I have to tell you this one. It was in my grade 12 vacation. I had a bit too much to drink, and I ended up in hospital due to alcohol poisoning. And I was away someplace else, and Philip came to the hospital, and he just looked at me and he said, you just signed the hospital papers, and he said, you better get yourself a lift home. And I got a lift home with friends, and Erica just came to me and just said, I will never forgive you for what you've done to your father, and I will erase you from my life, and God knows what. And ever since then, her and I just couldn't get along at all, because apparently I hurt my father, and she can't forgive anyone who does that. So, when was it? Now this restaurant, this coffee shop where I met Eagle, I started working there in 2004. This was now my year after school. I didn't want to go study anything because I didn't find anything that I would have done that I would like to do for the rest of my life. So I thought, what's the point? What's the point of me going studying something just because I have to study? Just because it's the norm of society for when you go out of school. You have to go and study, otherwise you're not going to get a job and you're not going to be able to provide for yourself. To me, I couldn't see why I had to go study because I would obviously waste my money and even Philip's money to go and study something which I knew I would probably not do for the rest of my life. And that kind of scared me, It scared me to go and study something, one thing, and do that for the rest of my life. And I looked through the universities, I looked through all that they provided for me to go and study and go and do after university, and there was just nothing. So I said to Philip, listen, I'm going to take a year off. I'm not going to go and study because I can't find anything that I want to do, and I don't want to do something just because everyone's telling me I must. And he supported me in that. He said, no, it's fine. And one day we went and we sat at this coffee shop. No, this was me, Philip, and Erica. And it's still not on speaking terms, her and I, but we were able to bear each other. And she suggested that I go and work at this coffee shop. That same day, I said, okay, I'll go ask if they have a place available. And they did. And so the following day, I started working at this coffee shop. At that time, it was called Cafe Alive. And so I started working there. This was now in December of 2003, around there. Because in January, February 2004, that's when I left my house in which I stayed with Philip and Erica and never went back. It was one day, I just parked my car on the wrong place. And I got home, parked my car, got into the door, Erica was standing there, and she just started screaming at me, about the car, about the mess I leave, about Philip. She just screamed about everything. I just stood there, I didn't get going, and she was just standing there screaming the whole time, and I was just standing there listening to her. Said nothing. I asked her, are you finished now? And she said, yeah. So I just walked past her, I packed my bag, threw in some clothes, packed it into my car and left. And since that day, I never went back in terms of living there again. And I stayed with a friend for 2-3 weeks, and then I said to the owner of the coffee shop, her name was Lynette, that I'm on my own. Can I work every day of the week? Philip is at least providing me with petrol money, but with anything else, I need to buy my own food, clothes, etc. And so she offered for me to go and live with her. So I lived with the owner of the coffee shop for most of 2004, and I took care of her son, 5-year-old son, and I earned an extra 800 rand a month.